This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNN.Live. We're at the Dawson James Securities Small Cap Growth Conference 2019 here in Jupiter, Florida. With me today is Ken D'Entremont from Medexus Pharmaceuticals Inc. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols. It's MDP on the TSX-V and PDDPF in the U.S. Ken, welcome to SNN.Live.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you. Now let's get started with a brief overview of the company. We'll go from there.
Medexus Pharmaceuticals is a commercial phase specialty pharmaceutical company selling products in the U.S. and Canada.
Let's get a little history of the company, if you would.
It's actually the amalgamation of three companies. We purchased an asset from Medac GmbH, a European specialty pharma company called Rasuvo. It's an auto-injector of methotrexate, doing about $34 million net revenue in the U.S., growing at a 14% rate. Rolled that together with two Canadian specialty pharmaceutical companies in the same therapeutic area, and we now do about $75 million net sales, growing at double-digit rate.
What disease are you providing solutions for?
Primarily autoimmune disease, so rheumatoid arthritis, and also specialty oncology. We have several oncology drugs that we're commercializing.
What is your competitive advantage?
It's our commercial infrastructure. So we're strong commercial operators. So we've been able to demonstrate over and over again that we can take someone's drug asset, launch it, and grow it to peak sales very rapidly.
So you have a sales team in place?
Yes, we have full commercial organization, both U.S. and Canada. 25 people in the U.S., 19 in Canada.
What's the landscape like for your products?
It's very competitive, but in big markets. The methotrexate market in the U.S. is about a $400 million marketplace. We have a nice market share, but growing strongly.
So what is the size of the addressable target market?
Well, for methotrexate, it's the full $400 million in the U.S., so clearly we should be able to get a significant share of that marketplace. And then the other therapeutic areas are all quite large, $50 to $100 million marketplaces.
Now, what's your background?
I grew up in pharma, raised in Sanofi, the French multinational, and started Medexus as a private company about 18 years ago.
So what's your team like?
All commercial operators. So it's people who've come from big pharma, want something much more entrepreneurial, have been there, done it, and are now doing it for Medexus.
How do you expand in the future?
Through business development. We have $27 million worth of cash in the bank, so we'll use that capital in order to acquire and license more products, particularly for the U.S.
Now, you're a public company, so only tell me what you can. What are some growth drivers coming in next year?
The key growth drivers are, one, organic growth. We're growing at plus 20% rate organically with our current portfolio, but we're also deploying that $27 million worth of capital to acquire and license. So we'll see new products in our portfolio in the near future.
What's your website for our investor audience, if you would?
It's medexus.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken D'Entremont from Medexus Pharmaceuticals Inc. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols, MDP on the TSX-V and PDDPF in the U.S. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNN.Live, coming to you live from the Dawson James Securities Small Cap Growth Conference 2019 in Jupiter, Florida. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming on.
It was a pleasure.